Okay, so in the previous class, we completed the phrases, kinds of phrases. How many kinds of phrases do we have? How many kinds of phrases we learned in the last class? Yes, children? Which are the kinds of phrases we learned in the previous class? Noun phrase. Tell me. Can you hear me, children? Yes, noun phrase, adjective phrase, adverbial phrase, prepositional phrase, verbal phrase. Okay, so these were the kinds of phrases we learned in the previous class. And today, what are we going to do? The clause. What is the definition of clause? How do you define clause? What did you read? Can anyone read the definition of clause?
It is word which has subject and a predicate.
Okay. So a clause is a combination of words. Again, it is a group of words which contains a subject and a predicate. It is the larger part of the sentence. Okay, it extends the sentence. So what is a clause? A clause is a combination of words which has a subject and a predicate. Right? Now, for example, they have given you strike the iron while it is hot. Okay. Now, what is the example? Now, what is the clause? It is a combination. Clause is a combination of subject and plus predicate. Okay. Now, what is the example they have given you? What is the example, children? What is the example?
Iron while it is hot.
Read. Strike the iron while it is hot. Means what? What does this mean? What do you mean by this sentence? Strike the iron while it is hot. What is the meaning of the sentence? Does anyone know or can anyone tell me? What does it mean? Strike the iron while it is hot. What does it mean? It means that making use of an opportunity, taking a chance of an opportunity. Whichever opportunity you get at that time, you need to prove. Okay? So strike the iron while it is hot. It means nothing but take an opportunity. Now, the group of words while it is hot is a larger part of the sentence. Now, while it is hot, it is a larger part of the sentence and it completes the meaning. Okay, it completes the meaning by itself. Okay, now see here. Sorry, a group of words while it is hot is a larger part of the sentence and it cannot complete. Does this give you what is the meaning? Does it give why it is hot? Does it give any meaning? Does it give any sense or make some sense? Does it make any sense, children?
No, ma'am.
No. So such words are therefore it is a clause. A clause is a group of words which does not make any sense but it has a combination of a subject and a predicate. It depends on the clause. Now this part of the sentence, the larger part, okay, the second part of the sentence depends on the first part of the sentence, that is the clause. On what is it depending? While it is hot. What is hot? Strike the iron. So this sentence, this larger part of the sentence, it depends on the first part of the sentence. So this is called as the clause. Now, for example, I'll give you. So, the sentence has two clauses. Now, in this sentence, there are two clauses. Okay, so the first one is the principal clause, and the second one is the subordinate clause. Okay, so a clause has, the first one is the principal clause.
Dependent.
Huh?
Dependent.
Yes, this. It is called the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. This is called the principal clause or the independent clause. Okay, it is called the principal clause or the independent clause, and this is called the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. Now, for example, I'll make it more clear for you to understand. See, the sentence has two clauses, that is the principal clause and the subordinate clause or dependent clause. A clause which stands by itself and makes a complete sense is called a principal clause. Now, for example, I'll give you. Now, what is a principal clause? It gives the meaning. For example, I'll give you the definition. A clause which stands by itself and makes complete sense. For example, Mari likes cat. Okay. Now, does this give a complete sense? Does this clause give a complete sense? Yes. So it is called as the principal clause. Okay, it is called as the principal clause where it gives a complete sense. Next example I'll give you. Joseph is a good player. Joseph is a good player. Does this give me a complete sense?
No, ma'am.
No. No. Joseph is a good player. Does it not make sense? It makes some sense. So it is called as the principal clause or the independent clause. But what happens in a subordinate clause or a dependent clause? It depends on something else. It depends on the principal clause, but it does not make any sense. Okay? I'll write the word here. I'll tell you about it is called the subordinate, or what should it? It's called the subordinate and the dependent clause. Now, for example, I'll give you on the principal clause. In clause, we have the two types. It is the principal clause or the independent clause. The next one is subordinate clause or the dependent clause. What happens in principal clause? In principal clause, what happens? The sentence, it gives a complete meaning. It gives a complete meaning, a complete sense. But in the subordinate clause, it does not stand by itself and it does not make a complete meaning. It does not give a complete meaning. Whereas a principal clause gives a complete meaning, a complete sense, makes a complete sentence. But in subordinate clause, it depends on something. It does not give a complete meaning. Now, for example, I'll give you when it is raining. When it is raining, what do you feel? Is it a complete sentence or something is missing?
Something is missing.
Something is missing. So what happens? It has to depend on something else. So I can give you, this is a subordinate clause. But it is not making a complete sense. It's not standing alone. It is not making a complete sentence. It has no complete meaning. So to make it a complete meaning, what do I need to add? I need to add some words. That means it has to depend. Dependent is nothing but it has to depend on some other words to make it a complete sentence. For example, when it is raining, what should I continue? Hmm. Okay, I'll give you when it is raining. The weather gets cold. Okay, now this is my example. When it is raining is a dependent clause. Okay, it does not give a complete meaning. But when I say when it is raining, the weather gets cold. Is it making a complete sense when I'm using this? When the weather gets cold, does this make a complete sense now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what is happening here? It is called as dependent clause. Dependent means it is depending on more words to make a complete sense. So when I'm adding this, when it is raining, it is a dependent clause. It is not a complete clause. It does not have a complete meaning. But when I added, when it rains, the weather gets cold, it gives a complete meaning. And this is called as dependent clause because we need to add something to make it a principal clause. Now, second example. Now, second example I can give you of subordinate clause is because you were late. You are something, you somewhat understand what it is, but is it giving a complete meaning, children? Is it giving a complete sense?
No, ma'am.
No, it is not. So it is called as a dependent clause. Now, if I want to make it a principal clause, what should I do? I need to add something. Yes, can you add some words for me? Because you were late, what happened? Hmm?
Because you were.
Because you were late. Add something to make it a principal clause. This is a dependent clause. It does not have a complete sense.
You missed the class because you were late.
Because you were late, you missed the class. Okay. So when because you were late, you missed the class. So what? Which type of clause this is?
Principal.
Yes, it is a principal clause because it is giving me a complete meaning. It makes a complete sense. But because you are late, this is a dependent clause or the subordinate clause. Any doubt? Is it clear?
No, ma'am.
No?
Yes, ma'am.
Not clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
It's clear.
Okay. Now, okay. Now see the examples. Now study the following pairs of sentences. This is the house built by my father. Yes. Now see the example. This is the house built by my father. This is the house which my father built. Okay. Now, the second sentence is the mice will play in the absence of the cat. The mice will play when the cat is away. Third one, I know of his recovery. I know that he has recovered. Now, see, they have given you an example of group 1. What is group 1? Group 1 is nothing but the first sentence. See, in the first sentence they have said, this is the house which my father, this is the house built by my father. Okay? Now, built by my father.
Madam, page number.
Page 150. 150. Okay, now see, this is the house built by my father. This is the house which my father built. Now, in the first group, that is 1A, the groups built by my father is an adjectival phrase. Yesterday we learned what? We learned about adjectival phrase. So, built by my father, yesterday we learned about what? Adjectival phrase. So this built by my father is a phrase. Okay? We are describing who built it. It was the house was built by the father. Now in the clause which my father built, here the second part, which my father built, it means the same. Both these, the first sentence and the second sentence, it means the same. But what happens in the front phrase, in 1A? See, in sentence 1A, the phrase qualifies the noun house. Okay, so in first one, we are talking about what? The noun, which is a noun here. In the first sentence, which is a noun? House. So we are talking about the house that the father built. Okay, it is called as an adjectival clause. This is called as an built by my father is adjectival phrase. Which my father built is called as
adjectival clause.
yes, adjectival clause. Here, what is happening? We are talking about the noun. It is modifying the noun. Right? Now, see in the second one, the mice will play in the absence of the cat. Now, what is happening here? In the absence of the cat, it is an adverbial phrase. And when the cat is away, the mice will play when the cat is away. The second sentence. It means when the mice will play, so it is an adverbial clause. So here we are differentiating between adjectival phrase, adjectival clause, adverbial phrase, adverbial clause, noun phrase and noun clause. Now see here on page number 151, they have given you what is the difference between a phrase and a clause. Yesterday we learned the phrase, today we are learning about the clause. We will see what is the difference between what is a phrase and what is a clause. Who will read the first one for me about the phrase and clause?
On page number
151, 151, 151. Open page 151.
Can I read?
Yes,
What can I read?
yes, read.
A group, a phrase, a group of words, a clause, a group of words.
Yes, a phrase is, wait, stop. I said only one. Okay, so what is the difference between a phrase and a clause? A phrase also has a group of words. A clause also has a group of words. Okay, second one.
What can I read? And a phrase,
No, someone else. Wait, Pratham. Yes, read. Shraddha, read.
no finite word as a subject and a predicate.
Yes, no finite verb. A phrase has no finite verb means it does not have any action verb. But what happens in a clause? A clause has a subject and it has a predicate. That is, in a sentence there are two types. So a clause has a subject and it also has a predicate. Next, third one, who will read?
Ma'am, can I read?
Yes.
A phrase has no definite meaning. A clause has a definite meaning of its own.
Yes. So what happens in yesterday in the phrase we learned? A phrase has no complete meaning. But what happens in a clause? Even though the words are small, even if it's a small group of words, it has a complete meaning. Next one.
Then I can read.
Yes. I can't hear you. I can't hear. No, wait. Who is this Arun Pawar? Huh?
Ma'am,
Nivedita, read loud. Read loud, Nivedita. Okay, so a phrase to obtain a definite meaning, it should be fitted in a sentence. Means what? In a phrase, like in the previous point we had said, it has no complete meaning. Now, for a phrase to have a complete meaning, we should add some words to make it a complete meaning. But what happens in a clause? It has a complete meaning. It forms a larger part of the sentence. When it forms a larger part of the sentence, that itself has a meaning. Next, adverbial clauses. Who will be the first one? Yes, Anga. Yes, Anga.
he talks like a madman. Adverbial clause, he talks as if when a madman.
Yes, in the adverbial phrase, in the phrase we have, he talks like a madman. Like a mad man is a phrase. Okay? And in clauses, he talks as if he was a madman. That is a clause. Okay? It is the larger part of the sentence. Second one.
Ma'am, can I read?
Yes, read.
Adverbial phrase, we return as sentence. Adverbial clause, we return when the sentence.
Okay, yes, good. Next. Zaina. Wait, Zaina, read. Zaina.
Yes, ma'am.
Read the sentence. Third one. You will read. Who is this Shrikant Mullah?
Mamta. Ma'am, Mamta.
Mamta is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Read the third one.
Yes. Ma'am, which one?
Page 151, adverbial clauses, third sentence. You will read. The one that is in the box.
As no.
What are you reading? Which page?
Ma'am. Ma'am, he was
Read. For this, you have any doubts? We will clarify the next class and we will solve. Did you complete your homework? I had given you homework A and B, page number 152. Yes, worksheet. Yes, worksheet 1, A and B. I had given you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So tomorrow or whenever you have your next class, we will continue with it. Yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Bye everyone.